Many thanks for joining us at this hour on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajibinto Drame. In tonight's top stories. Today, 24th October, marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations since it officially came into existence. In the Gambia, the event was celebrated at the UN House and at UN 75 Part in Kotu. The First Lady Fatuba Barrow on Saturday called on members of the public and donor agencies to support maternity ward across the country during the launching of a nationwide blood donation drive. The Independent Electoral Commission on Saturday nominated 2 candidates for the upcoming by-election to take place at Nyaminya West on November 7th. The Gambia government, through the Office of the National Security Advisor on Friday, held a press conference to update the media on the stage of the security sector reform process. In international news, World Polio Day is observed on October 24th every year to raise awareness for polio vaccination and eradication. On 24th October 1964, Zambia, formerly called Northern Rhodesia, became independent from the United Kingdom, and Prime Minister Kenneth Kaunda became the president. Those were our top stories for tonight's bulletin. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. And now the local news in detail. Today, 24th October, marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations since it officially came into existence. In the Gambia, the event was celebrated at the UN House and at UN 75 Part in Kotu. As QTV's Momrila Minchoy reports, the UN country coordinator has expressed UN's continued support for the Gambia's development.
The world's biggest intergovernmental organization is celebrating its 75th anniversary and serves the world peace, security and developments across the world. At the UN House in the Gambia, the UN flag was hoisted to mark the celebration. The ceremony was attended by heads of UN agencies in the Gambia and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This year, Gambia clocks 55 years of UN membership, a milestone both the UN and the Gambia are proud of after 5 decades of commitments and contributions to world peace, security and developments. The Minister of Foreign Affairs recognizes UN support for the implementation of the country's National Development Plan.
And I think we could not have kick-started a successful transition program without the very crucial support of the UN at a very critical time, because they provided the seed money for us to work on the NDP, to work on the transitional justice and the security sector reform. And I'm convinced that we will continue to work closely together, because I vividly remember also the words of the UN Secretary General when he said that he wants to make Gambia a success story in his agenda of sustaining peace. So the onus is on all of us to work together and make this example a shining example for the world to emulate.
After this flag hoisting ceremony, the 75th anniversary celebration continued at a park in Kotu. The park is rededicated to the UN as Kotu UN 75 Park, thanks to the Canifing Municipal Council. While it is being launched, the UN resident coordinator promises development support to rehabilitate the park, an initiative the Canifing Municipal Council is grateful to.
This botanical garden was supposed to reflect hope, cleanliness, a good environment where children can come and learn and have leisure and feel safe. Unfortunately, over the years, it has not reflected so. And with UN at 75, we are expecting that it would reflect exactly that.
The founding of the United Nations was conceived after the world emerged from the ravages of the Second World War, with 51 independent member states and a charter for world peace and order. In modern days, the UN has stretched its goals to capture the development needs of its 193 sovereign member states around the globe.
This celebration is an opportunity to reflect on this resolution and what it means. It means the SDGs and targets should be met for everyone, with a particular focus on the poorest, most vulnerable, marginalized, and farthest behind, those who are often the hardest to reach.
As part of celebration, the UN resident coordinator said, building closer relationships with communities in the Gambia to dialogue and reflect on people's basic needs and aspirations is the UN strategy towards helping support the Gambia's development goals.
The aim of the UN is to accompany the country and to support to ensure all Gambians have equitable access to health care services, both geographically and financially.
The United Nations is celebrating 75 years of existence at a time of a global health crisis that has caused severe disruptions to the lives of millions of people in the world. This time for the UN is a reminder that times of struggle can turn to be an opportunity for positive change and transformation to our lives. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The First Lady Fatoumata Barrow on Saturday called on members of the public and donor agencies to support maternity ward across the country. She was speaking at the launching of a nation blood donation drive organized by Join Hands to Save a Baby. And Sumana Esonyasi reports.
This initiative, spearheaded by Join Hands to Save a Baby, is aimed at setting up a maternal blood bank and encouraging members of the public to support maternity wards by donating blood in order to reduce maternal mortality. At the event, the First Lady Fatoumata Barrow says she is equally worried with recent reports of women dying in labor and called on members of the public to donate blood in order to save lives, adding that her office remains committed to supporting women and children in the country.
Another major and constant challenges in the Gambia is lack of readily available blood for women during labor and in other emergencies. Make the Gambian Maternal Blood Initiative a valuable project that will surely save the lives of many women.
Highlighting the importance of this initiative, Mariama Drame, Deputy Director of Health Services at the Ministry of Health, and Honorable Sekuba Jaju, National Assembly Member for Busumbala constituency, thanked Ms. Ami Bojang and Join Hands to Save a Baby for coming up with an initiative to help improve maternity units in the country.
There is need to involve, educate and empower communities to regularly and voluntarily donate blood to meet the national need. This gift of life is the most precious gift one can give to a fellow citizen.
Where our infants, our future leaders are going to be born should be conducive. That's why she concentrates our effort and all our activities at the maternity, so that the children that are going to be born there can be a very good and strong citizen tomorrow to lead the Gambia into a better way.
Several other speakers, including the Lord Mayoress of Banjul, Rahim Malik Low, also dilated on the importance of donating blood. Saturday's event was also attended by former First Lady, Lady Chilal Jawara, and cabinet ministers, amongst other dignitaries. At the end of the event, there was a presentation of medical items donated by Mr. Faris Sultan, after which the First Lady and other dignitaries also donated blood. Answana Sonyasi for QTV News.
The Independent Electoral Commission on Saturday nominated 2 candidates for the upcoming by-election set to take place on November 7th at Nyamina West, following the demise of the National Assembly member, Demba Sow. Our reporter Omar P. Jallo from Janjambure reports where the nomination took place.
After a thorough scrutiny of the aspiring candidates for the long-awaited Nyamina West by-election, the IEC officials accepted the nomination of both candidates pending the public scrutiny on Sunday that will determine their final nomination. The nominated candidates are Yero Jallo, candidate for the Gambia Democratic Congress GDC, and Birom Sow, candidate for the National People's Party NPP. If there is no objection from the public scrutiny, these 2 candidates will battle it out in what many say will be a litmus test of the Barrow camp, as this is the first time the NPP is contesting for election since it was formed. Officials of the GDC said they will also do everything possible to retain the seat. After the acceptance of the nomination, both candidates are confident for victory.
To thank my party leader and the members of the party. Indeed, of course, to thank the people of the supporters of UDP as well, and the party leader, Uncle Usainu Dabo. Definitely, we couldn't have done it alone without their support. This has vindicated victory already, because we've already seen the crowd that we have in here. With the support of UDP, is hands down victory, inshallah. Everybody in Nyamina knows that the ruling party, they are not the right people for this country. So they don't have a base, they don't have supporters at all. So I am pretty much sure that the victory is ours. If elected, first of all, my first priority is to reunite the people. We all know after election, usually there are divisions among people. You know, my first priority is to reunite the people of Nyamina, and then to make them, to inform them about their rights, you know, towards the government. The government has to bring development for the people of Nyamina. It's not that we have to beg them, they have to do it by and force. Because we are paying our taxes, we're paying all the dues that is levied on us. So why are they discriminating us? So definitely if I am elected, I'll fight for either hook or crook to make sure that we've got the development that we're supposed to have.
I am so much confident because the support behind me. Remember that we are almost how many parties coming together. And then all my allegiance, those who were trying to contest with me, all behind me. None of them has gone. So they are all rallying behind me, supporting me for the campaign. Well, I might not be the only right candidate. Equally, all those who were trying chance, they were all suit for this position. But we were the NPP candidate, and all the Nyamina people, we are looking for the possible candidate that will come with the highest victory. And for so, that is I myself, Mr. Sobiro. Inshallah, we at the NPP party will come with a very high victory, with a great margin. Nyamina West, like you said, we are faced with a lot of challenges, development challenges. I am sure that the NPP and the ruling government is aware, because as you have said, right now they are addressing a lot of development challenges within CRR. And I am sure that with the newly baby born, that is the first candidate of the NPP, going to the House is a credit to Nyamina West. And I am sure that the President will now bring justice to Nyamina West for our development.
Issa Balne, the IEC returning officer for Janjanbureh, warned both candidates to refrain from politics of violence and called on the electors to be law-abiding. He also urged them to follow the Ministry of Health and the WHO health guidelines. He also urged them to follow the Ministry of Health and the WHO guidelines to prevent the spread of the COVID-19.
The voters of Nyamina West, we are calling on, IEC is calling on all voters of Nyamina West to come out in their numbers and choose the candidate of their choice on election day. And then we are advising the electorate to actually observe the WHO COVID regulations.
The stage is now set, and the question now is, who will be the next National Assembly member for the Nyamina West constituency? Well, the electors will decide on the 7th of November 2020. Reporting for QTV News from Janjanbureh in the Central River region, I am Omar P. Jallo.
The Gambia government, through the Office of the National Security Advisor on Friday, held a press conference to update the media on the stage of the security sector reform process in the country. Mohammed Lamin Choi reports.
The Adama Barrow-led government, after its success to power in 2017, had promised to reform our security sector after our country emerged from an authoritarian rule that was marked with rights violations and abuses by forces and agencies of the security. After years of policy making and implementations on the security sector reform, the government is updating the public on the level of progress. The results indicators of the government security sector reform program agenda include restoration of public trust and confidence in the security, respect for human rights and rule of law with international best practice. The National Security Advisor outlines what he calls milestone of the security sector reform program. Security sector reform in the Gambia has also been measured towards the emergence of a security sector that commensurate with democratic values.
Also involved in civil-military relations. So basically, their engagement, is very productive, and we want to encourage and appeal for a common understanding that the economic is here for a period. And they are whilst they are doing a meaningful job, we are also trying to train and build the capacity of our own institutions.
The presence of ECOMIC in the Gambia has been a matter of public concern and debate. The National Security Advisor defends the presence of the ECOMIC, which according to him have been contributing towards security sector reform process. The government has highlighted several progresses after 3 years down the line towards reforming our security. The process of security sector reform takes at least 5 years in the short term and a maximum term of 10 years. The government is proud of its progress so far, but attaching no time frame on the journey of complete reform of our security sector. Mahmoud Lamin, QTV News.
We will go for a short commercial break. The news continues with more local stories. Do stay tuned.
Right time, right place, right price. Promote your product, business, and brand to millions of viewers nationwide or across the globe. Call QTV Marketing on 324444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm for all your advertisement needs. QTV Gambia, right place.
Muslims and Christians on Saturday jointly cleaned the Christian cemetery in Banjul. The event was organized by the Gambia Open Society in collaboration with Foundation for Youth Development and Leadership. Our reporter Momodu Gajaga was there and he now reports.
If there is one country that could be a model for religious tolerance, the Gambia fits into that category. This cleansing exercise is one of the activities manifesting the existing ties between the religious denominations. According to the organizers, the main goal of the initiative is to pay respect to the dead by clearing their final resting place. The joint exercise is also aimed at fostering social cohesion between the two faiths.
We started with the Christian cemetery first. I've personally been a Muslim, but that doesn't hinder me from partaking in such a kind of activity because all what we have seen or what we are seeing is Gambianism. We are not seeing any faith or any tribe. So therefore we started with the Christian cemetery. Then next week the next event is going to take place at the Muslim cemetery. So that will show you that definitely we are all one and we are working towards the same objective.
Even though the core mandate of the Gambia Armed Forces is to defend the country against external aggression, members of the armed forces were also not left out in this exercise. Colonel Salif Bojang, Inspector General at the Gambia Armed Forces, says they are contributing their part to national development.
I'm very, very impressive with the turnout of the soldiers. In fact, soldiers, you just give them word of command and they follow. But the civilian counterparts, I'm very, very impressed with their initiative and the turnout of the group, how they respond to this clarion call towards the development of this country. It's just the beginning, as they have said.
Tamarinjai, a Banjulian who has seen the long peaceful coexistence between Christians and Muslims, described the exercise as another way of strengthening ties.
Man bima fatale ko lima gëna nek xalel yépp do daan mëna rañaarle lanay féti sëriñ ak lanay féti Christian.
When I was young, you cannot tell who is Christian or Muslim. Whenever there is a religious festival in Banjul, we have peacefully coexisted for years. But this is a great initiative and it shows unity among us.
The cleansing exercise will continue next week, covering Muslim and Christian cemeteries in Old Joswang, St. Teresa's Cemetery, Kanifing Muslim Cemetery, Latrikunda, Sarekunda and Dipakunda cemeteries.
Just behind me, a soul of strength and solidarity. Muslims and Christians in the Gambia have coexisted for generations in peace. But just what is happening behind me at the Banjul Christian Cemetery is a sign of strengthening that relationship. Momodu Gajaga, QTV News.
We will take another short break. The news continues with international. Do stay tuned.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75C and $100C and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10C to $100C using eFunkanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy QPOWER, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. eFunkanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back once again in international news. World Polio Day is observed on October 24th every year to raise awareness for polio vaccination and eradication of the disease. Here is the report.
Polio usually targets children below the age group of 5. This disease is caused by a highly infectious virus known as poliovirus. The virus causes permanent damage to the victim's nerve system. Until date, there has not been any solution to the dreaded polio disease. Governments have taken several measures to achieve polio eradication by vaccinating children under the age of 5. An estimated 350,000 children globally are paralyzed annually, which led to the founding of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. Africa is now polio-free, according to the World Health Organization's Africa Regional Certification Commission. More than 95% of Africa's population has now been immunized, thereby meeting the conditions that the African Regional Certification Commission set before declaring the continent free from the wild polio virus, commonly called polio. This is precisely the progress and advancement of medical technology achieved over the years through sustained, dedicated and committed efforts by experts. The World Health Organization has set up specific goals to completely wipe out the disease. Polio still exists in some countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan. In 2016, the last case of polio in Africa was detected in Nigeria. The country has now recorded no new cases for the past years. Experts have warned that the fight is not over yet, because there is a risk of reintroducing the disease through everyday phenomena like global travel, as it had happened before. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
On 24th October 1964, Zambia, formerly called Northern Rhodesia, became independent from the United Kingdom, and Prime Minister Kenneth Kaunda became the inaugural president. Kaunda's United National Independence Party maintained power from 1964 until 1991. Aliu Sise reports.
On this day in 1965, the British colony of Northern Rhodesia became the independent Republic of Zambia after overcoming extreme obstacles and decades of the national struggle. The Republic of Zambia celebrates its independence with utmost enthusiasm and commitment. It is a national holiday in Zambia, and the day is celebrated through parades. In 1889, Britain establishes control over Northern Rhodesia, now renamed Zambia. And in 1960, the independence struggle began with Kenneth Kaunda launching United National Independence Party. It took the country 4 years to gain self-rule in 1964. Kaunda became the first president, ruling for 27 years. From 1972 to 1991, Zambia was a one-party state, with Kaunda's party becoming the only legal party until 1991. In the same year, first multi-party elections in 23 years was held, which Frederick Chiluba's movement for multi-party democracy won. In 1997, there was an attempted coup, and former President Kaunda was arrested, but later walked free. President Chiluba steps down in 2001 over opposition to his bid to run for an unconstitutional third term. From 2001 to 2008, Zambia's third president, Levi Mwanawasa, served 2 terms but died in office. Rupia Banda presided as acting president before being elected president in 2008. Holding the office for only 3 years, Banda stepped down after his defeat in the 2011 election by Patriotic Front Party leader Michel Shatta, who died in 2014. In 2015, the country elected Eja Lungu as the 6th president after winning a narrow election victory. Mr. Lungu's toughest challenge has been to turn around a slowing economy hit by a slump in copper prices, the country's biggest export. Zambia, unlike most of its neighbors, has managed to avoid the war and turmoil that has marked much of Africa's post-colonial history, earning itself a reputation for political stability. The landlocked country has experienced rapid economic growth over the last decades as Africa's second largest copper producer after DR Congo. But its over-reliance on copper has made it vulnerable to falling commodity prices. Zambia also has one of the world's fastest growing population, with the UN projecting that its population will triple by 2050. The capital city is Lusaka, and the population is concentrated mainly around Lusaka in the south and the Copper Belt province to the southwest, the core economic hubs of the country. Happy Independence, Zambia. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
Happy Independence to Zambia. But before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories tonight. Today, 24th October, marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations since it officially came into existence. In the Gambia, the event was celebrated at the UN House and at UN 75 Part in Kotu. The First Lady Fatuba Barrow on Saturday called on members of the public and donor agencies to support maternity ward across the country during the launching of a nationwide blood donation drive. The Independent Electoral Commission on Saturday nominated 2 candidates for the upcoming by-election to take place at Nyamina West on November 7th. The Gambia government, through the Office of the National Security Advisor on Friday, held a press conference to update the media on the stage of the security sector reform process. In international news, World Polio Day is observed on October 24th every year to raise awareness for polio vaccination and eradication. On 24th October 1964, Zambia, formerly called Northern Rhodesia, became independent from the United Kingdom, and Prime Minister Kenneth Kaunda became the president. That's it from me in tonight's bulletin. I am Ajibintu Drame. Thanks for watching and please stay tuned on QTV.